What are you going to do with me, darling?
Well, do you have any
What do we
concealer?
have? What do we want? We've got highlighters in all the colours.
Great.
And then we've got concealer.
Maybe a concealer.
Do you want a concealer?
And some cheek colour.
I had filler taken out from under my eyes I'd had for 10 years, and it started popping through.
Right.
And over the last 2 years I've had it taken out, so my circles are a bit darker. This is the one that's the SPF 30 that changed the colour of your skin. But this is for glow. So this one does this.
Yes.
And then you go like that, and it becomes the colour of your skin.
Oh my gosh, and it adapts to your skin colour.
There's 5 shades.
Does it?
But I use
there's
like
5
medium,
shades.
Yeah. But it just does that.
That's
yeah.
love.
It's really nice.
That's really nice for like every day. It just gives you a little bit of a sheer coverage, but it really works on glow.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Yeah,
I'm always trying to talk my ladies into just having more glow and less powder, so their skin looks more alive and more fresh, and also just like working on their application too, right? Like not
tell me the secret.
The
secret of a good under eye when you've got to cover a dark circle. What's your trick?
Look, I mean, I love to color correct. I'm about less product, so I'll go in and do my color correction. You know, brighten a few of those little spots, and then I like to just come in and place my coverage exactly where I need it, rather than trying to mask the whole face. Just focus on those areas and then blend it out. I mean, I'm really big on working with my fingers when I'm on set or working with a client, because I like to make the product and the skin become one, rather than it becoming like this mask like look. So very textural, very kind of, I like to feel my way around and just more place it where I really want to cover, and then come in and I'll add a little bit of cheek, and then I'll go back and I'll fill in a little bit more concealer, because I feel like it needs a little bit more coverage in there, and then kind of build it rather than, you know, building this whole mask.
If somebody has a dark circle,
Sure.
all right, and you think I want to cover it, what shape do you create? Where do you put the lighter shade, or because I saw you do a video and I thought it was great the way you described it, but of where you put maybe the color of your skin versus lighter than your skin, etc.
Yeah, this would be the skin color for me, and then in this one, because this is a lighter, more glowy texture, I would get something lighter than the skin tone. So one shade lighter. This one, which is my coverage, is the matching, and then a color corrector, and then I like to mix it together. So you're not putting like something really light on something that's really dark. You're kind of building that bridge. The highlighter gives you brightness underneath the eye, and then the concealer that's the same color gives you your coverage.
You know, brands that I miss that went out of, you know, fashion or you know, went away. And I think one brand that did the best color correctors was Becca.
Oh, yeah.
They did incredible color correction. They were the first brand in the era that we do makeup, which had that kind of the orange, the blue, the green, the purple, and it really, those little pots, do you remember them? But underneath here, if you had a dark circle, what color corrector would you use?
Well, depending on what tone it is, but generally like a peach is a pretty rounded color. If you're really fair, you would go in with a pink, and if you're a little bit deeper, then you're probably going to go in with more of a deeper orange. But for you, peach is fabulous, and this concealer that is yours is more peach undertone. So it's quite good, just like in that corner where you have a little bit of darkness, and still keeping this nice and light, because your skin is perfect out here. You don't need that same amount of coverage there. So I just like to be a little bit select where I'm putting things, so that it's just a bit more intentional rather than, you know, completely whiting everything out.
Exactly, and there is that tendency, like either with fake tan, when I see ladies who spent years doing the same thing, and you must have that a lot with your cheddar cheeses, of just that, you know, of our cheddar cheese generation, but of just, you get used to a habit, you know, so people who learned to do makeup in the 90s or the 80s or the noughties. You know, so there's like, they either did that sort of MAC matte, or they did fake tan, you know, and they think my skin's bad, so let me just make everything the same density and the same, you know, it's like, why make your face all one color if it's all different heights?
Exactly,
you know?
Exactly. But I guess it's kind of like, you know, teaching people that and showing people that. And people are, I think, I mean, for me, I know when I started makeup was such a scary thing. It was all about intimidating people and making them fearful to stay in a lane, where now we're being so much more inclusive and being so much more like, you know, makeup is up to you and how it makes you feel. And so I think it's slowly changing. But
which you're using firelight, you're using it as the bronzer.
I'm going to use it as a bronzer. So many of my ladies want to have some warmth in their skin, but using a bronzer, whether it be powder or cream, can be quite hollowing. And if they've
when you say hollowing, what do you mean?
So like, you know, you reach a certain age and you start losing a lot of volume in your face, so your face starts to sink in, and then you go and put on a bronzer, whether it be a cream or a powder. The product's quite dense, so they just want a little bit of color. It really hollows them out even more. So my favorite thing, which I was telling you, is to grab a little bit of the bronze halo, dab it on. Sometimes I'll mix it in with a little bit of my foundation if I need to kind of just water it out. And use this as the bronzer. And the reason being is because it has these light particles in there. It adds volume as well as giving that little bit of warmth. So you're not losing any volume in the face. In fact, I feel like you're kind of gaining it.
Yeah, I love
because you're getting this really beautiful, soft, golden bronze highlight. I try and get it as evenly in my brush as I possibly can, so that when I put it on the face, it's already even and it's not going on in a blob. So even if I'm in a palette, like let's just say, where's your blush? Here it is. So even if I was in the blush, I would dab in and then I would come onto my hand and I'd work it through so it's a nice kind of even texture through my brush. And then I just like to tap it on. And generally everything that's in this brush will do the whole face. So where I start, barely touching the skin. And then I'll get a little bit heavier as I go around because I feel like there's more product. I need more product. And I'll tap it in. And can I put some on your eye as well? Here. Beautiful. And then I'll just come around and just tap it all in so it's nice and even.
You like to finish with your fingers?
I love to make the makeup become one with the skin. I don't like to see it so much. I like it to feel like it belongs there. That you know, that it's part of you rather than just plonked on top.
How do you convince women who are used to matte that glow is good? You know, like, because for them it could be perimenopause or menopause or sweatiness, and they can't disassociate between the two.
Yes. Yeah. And I think a lot of like, you know, fake information from you know, wives' tales back in the day where it's like, oh, it makes your wrinkles stand out, and it can definitely. I think it's just more about having the control, like using a powder where you need to use it. I'm not saying it has to be everywhere. You can come in and use a powder like if you want on each side of the nose, but it is a real slow movement getting women, I think, to get more into to glow. But once they do and they see themselves, they feel so much younger.
And when their friends go, you look
at my
so
skin,
well.
I'm like, oh my god, I feel like I'm young. And like, but you know, I've got that freshness, and I'm like, oh my god, I love this. So and then I think they come around. So it's a slow burn, but it's worth it.
And maybe you need to do it, and then they go and have lunch with friends who then go, oh my god, you look so well, where have you been? And then they think maybe it was that glow.
Totally. I'm just going to finish with a little bit of colour because
I love it, how you've done it, it's fab.
Everyone should have blush on. Brightens our under eyes, makes our skin look more youthful, lifts up our cheeks.
Where do you believe in the positioning? Because so many people like to really like that trend is right by your eye, and it used to be lower. I mean, I know what I like to do, but do you look at people's face shapes first and then think where the placement should go?
I do, but I do like it higher than lower, because it lifts the cheek up. So I would never go down like onto the apple of the cheek. I'd always do it on the top of the apple of the cheek, and I'd always bring it up on the face, never down, because you always want to lift. So I do like it higher. I mean, I would never put it right underneath the eyes. But then again, like sometimes I have some women clients that love blush. I will put it like a BB on, and then I'll get the blush and I'll put it all on the top of the cheeks quite heavily on the top of the cheeks, and then what's left on the brush I bring it right underneath the eyes to the side of the nose, and then I put the concealer on because that acts as like a color corrector, and they like that really kind of blushy look.
That's so
your
lovely.
Skin, God, you've got amazing skin. That's absolutely outrageous.
That's so nice. What you did is really beautiful.
Really
Look,
nice.
Jan. Isn't that beautiful? What have you got on? I've got on Miracle Glow, but it's Max's technique of just that. I mean, it's a lot of finger and then really working the brush into the skin and putting a little bit on, and it's sort of patience because we can be in a rush. That's great. Go now. John's looking because he's like the kind of. Is that nice? Is that nice? It's really nice.
And was it firelight?
It's firelight.
And we've got firelight, yes, as the bronzer.
As the bronzer.
Yes.
So nice.
Give it a bit of warmth and a bit of fullness.
Thank you for my glow.
Thank you for having me. What a pleasure to do your makeup. Absolute dream come true.
Such a pleasure to do your face.
Yes. To finger your face.
To finger your face.